China used to take half the world's recyclable rubbish. Not anymore. They've got enough of their own. That's about 1 cent Australian. So what to do with the garbage generated by 1.4 billion people? All right, we're going to follow their car to the police station. Tonight, we lift the lid on China's rubbish crisis. We've travelled about an hour outside Beijing, where the problems China faces managing its waste are on stark display. This stockpile here is the result of share bike schemes gone wrong. The bicycles were dumped here because they were clogging up Beijing streets. This is just one of many bicycle dumping grounds dotted across China. They're a symbol of a culture that produces and throws away on a massive scale. And whether it's bicycles, plastics or industrial waste, it's a problem that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. China's government has now declared its own war on waste. The question is it winning? Nowhere illustrates better the scale of the problems China faces in its war on waste than its capital, Beijing. With a population almost the same as Australia, each day the city produces 25,000 tonnes of waste, more than double what it churned out 20 years ago. This army of food couriers is unwittingly at the front line of the problem. Food delivery is known here as Waimai. In China's big cities, you can order pretty much anything, from a multi-course banquet to a single cup of coffee for next to nothing.
可能就是比较简单吧，方便嘛，便捷一点嘛。像现在的话，天气热的话，就说回去啊，下班回去啊，躺在家里面好好休息一下嘛，点个外卖多少省事嘛，对不对？
Food courier Rao Jian dreamed of following his father and grandfather into the army, but a disability made that impossible. Now the 22-year-old is serving his countrymen in a different way. Every day he races against the clock. His job and income depend on getting good reviews.
Hey, 你好，外卖。哎，你好，唐女士啊，请来一个啊。 正常上班的话，基本上就是说早上有的单很少，然后就到中午10点半到12点半左右的样子，这段时间会比较忙。到晚上6点半、5点半左右的样子，就会就是说在晚餐的时候比较忙一点。
These newly popular online delivery services are helping to generate vast amounts of plastic waste. Across the country, about 20 million orders are made each day, mainly from 2 major companies, producing around 60 million plastic containers.
有的就是说像他们 同事这一块，有的人碰见过就要从楼上送到楼上，从楼下送到楼上的，这都有的。哎，你好，你的外卖到了。
哎，谢谢啊。哎，你慢走啊。Well, this isn't bad, is it? A freshly roasted hot coffee delivered right to the office store. You've got your milk, you've got the stirrer, you've got the bag to prevent spillage. But all this packaging for just one drink? You can see why China's government is worried. Multiply by 60 million pieces every day across the country, and it's no wonder the rubbish is piling up.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Me too.
So
Yeah.
you're travelling around basically promoting rubbish sorting.
Right.
Chen Li Wen knows all too well the challenges faced by a country where more people are getting wealthy fast.
In some villages, they don't have the basic infrastructure for waste management.
Yeah.
They just open.
She's one of China's most energetic environmental campaigners. And you're off again tomorrow from Beijing.
Yeah.
Travelling again?
Traveling to Qinghai.
Sounds like you don't have much time. Today, Chen Li Wen is taking us to see where a good part of Beijing's rubbish ends up, on the city's outskirts.
Historically, China's cities also send their waste to the countryside. But gradually, the farmers refused because we have more and more non-organic stuff.
We've come to one of Beijing's biggest and oldest dump sites, home to both a landfill and an incinerator. And this is about as close as we can get. So this is it.
The first time I came here was almost 10 years ago. It's now so big. It's growing like a building.
In the past, this landfill contaminated the groundwater as far as 4 kilometres away. Locals also worry about emissions from the incinerator.
Over the years, I have visited over 30 facilities, including landfills and incinerators across China. I could see how these facilities have impacted people's lives. And people are suffering from the pollution. Without sustainable waste management, we don't have future.
In its war to reduce waste, China has one major advantage: a vast network of rubbish pickers who keep much of the recyclable waste out of landfill and incineration. Hey, 老王，哎，你好，我是比尔。哎，你们现在去哪里啊？
我们去收废品呢。
Wang Jindong is one of Beijing's 170,000 rubbish scavengers, part of the informal recycling industry that currently handles about a third of the city's garbage. A migrant worker who left his home province 10 years ago, Wang lives on the fringes of the capital in a brick shack with no electricity or running water. Wang and his wife took in their nephew, 11-year-old Meng Nan, after the child's father became ill.
因为我爸，我快不行了，他要把我们仨兄弟中卖出一个。啊？卖出一个小孩，但是没卖，因为我大爷不舍得卖。我爸还说要把我卖了，因为我公老师把我卖了。
Wang is committed to giving his nephew an education.
爬泥数码，当然学习，用功，哪个不会的我给老师的我举手。 叫老师傅了，我交给你。
Today, Wang is taking me with him to collect bottles on a demolition site, covered with plastic mesh to keep down the dust. It's slow work. 比如你看这个小厅，你可以赚多少钱
5分钱一个。
5分钱一个
啊，
so that's about less than 1 cent Australian. 你觉得来这里捡垃圾大概可以赚多少钱？
一天的话，这捡个了我了20-30块钱呗。
20-30块钱。
啊，够生活费呢。
It's about $5 or
我要生活呢。
$5 or $6 a day, roughly Australian, that you can make collecting rubbish here. The real money in rubbish comes from controlling turf. Well-connected collectors cut deals with the big residential compounds, paying for exclusive rights to handle their waste. 为什么你不能进去这些小区？
小区里边的话，人家不让进，
所以你就能在外面。
人家到了我就在外面捡呢。
Well, this is not the easiest way to make a living at the best of times, but it's not even 10 a.m. and it's already getting up towards 35 degrees.
这晒人呗，就是本身心里我知道了我热呀，就为了了我侄儿，我就是忍了，不说，也就忍到肚里边。哎，为了孩子的我成长。 为了孩子的我学习上学，我吃苦耐劳，人到装到我肚子里，不叫孩子们吃苦耐劳。
The rubbish pickers are highly effective, according to Chen Li Wen, who's studied them closely.
They can recycle whatever the market can deal with. When we do the field work and found that they recycle like almost 90% of the recyclables. It is much higher than any developed countries. They rely on recycling to raise family.
Meng Nan attends a local school set up for the children of the city's migrant workers. It costs his uncle around $200 a year in fees. But even in this marginalised community, the rubbish picker's nephew is at the bottom of the pack.
那你和同学关系好吗？
不好。
为啥？
不知道。他们都说我家穷，都瞧不起我。
The rubbish collectors might be efficient, but their future is uncertain. Most, like Wang Jindong, come from outside the city. In recent crackdowns, Beijing has tried to force them out. Recently, Wang has heard that the buildings around his home are slated for demolition, and he fears his could be next.
你现在这个地方拆迁这个地方了，那怎么说呢？
谢谢。
啊，
哦，这里是做饭的地方。
对。
做饭的。
啊，
哦，这里。
啊。我估计了，我要住到了。你现在这个房子没提，现在还没说呢。估计大概的话能撑到了8、9月份。
The rubbish pickers are facing another threat. It comes from entrepreneurs like Liu Xuesong, who's at the forefront of a government push to solve the waste crisis with high-tech solutions.
但是在中国，我们有很多这个收废品的，有拾荒者的存在，我们这个回收率并不低。但是呢，我们的问题是流向不可控，没有统一的监管，也没有明确的数字。所以其实一直有一个梦想吧，就是希望把这个行业做得有尊严。
谁要试着投一下呢？
Liu's company aims to cut out the rubbish collectors by encouraging individuals to recycle. Each bottle credits just under 1 cent to your bank account.
这样更好一些。
Her company has placed 5,000 of these machines around Beijing. There's a daily limit of 20 to 30 bottles per user, designed to stop the rubbish pickers from cashing in. The company then transports the bottles to a plastic processing factory and ultimately turns them into consumer goods.
你们知道这些瓶子收到这里面去干嘛去了呢？知道吗？回收利用做成什么了？衣服，还可以做成什么？哇，很棒！包对。哇，好厉害！
所以我们做这个环保潮品，有8个饮料瓶做的 T 恤衫，有14个饮料瓶做的包，就是把它做成跟国外的设计师，我们现在跟日本的设计师、跟美国的设计师，给它做成特别好玩、漂亮的，又用非常好的工艺去做呢，吸引很多的年轻人。
Wang Jindong is still recycling the old-fashioned way. He peddles his wares to a market more than an hour across town, another small cog in the informal recycling chain.
1手，
你别看了，你走。2手，你说你的。
可是我卖给他的非闽南的，他非闽南的还要挣一批钱。可是如果非闽南的我再卖到厂里面，他也得捞一批钱。16。 这已经经过了，我跟你说了，经过了这4回、3回收，这才成材料。这把袋子给我这么倒了，我这要袋子。
Here, the city's trash turns into treasure. Any item useful for manufacturing, plastic, cardboard, metal, has a value here.
20, 30, 35.
It's been a good day. Mr. Wang's made about $30 from a week's garbage, enough to support his family for another week. From here, the plastic bottles, cardboard and other packaging collected on the streets of Beijing begin the long journey away from the capital. The question is, where does it all go from here? When the government announced its ban on foreign waste last year, it also cracked down on backyard recycling centres like this.
经过破碎，洋垃圾变成了塑料碎片，再被放入一个大池子清洗，脏兮兮的垃圾摇身一变，成了灰色的塑料颗粒。
As this recent state media documentary reveals, authorities are making a show of closing down these centres because they're a danger to workers' health and the environment.
这是记者当时在工厂旁边农田里看到的废水坑，就是这样，废水不做任何处理就直接渗入地下。记者发现，在一些村子里、农田里，类似这样的水坑还有很多。
But have all these backyard operators really shut down? And if they have, where is China's domestic waste being recycled? We decide to visit what once was the biggest centre for plastic recycling in northern China, the Wenan district, an hour from Beijing. While processing was officially shut down here some years ago, I've heard there's still some going on.
PP, some sort of plastic product there.
And there are indications recycling is happening nearby.
Here's another truck with plastic pellets that have gone through the recycling process already, and they're ready to be taken away and used for manufacturing.
But if it is still happening, it's well hidden.
这里地方做那个废塑料再生的吗？不知道。这个地方不是一个那个再生的地方吗？不知道，不是。啊，我看很多店
没了，都不让干了，都不让干了，没有了。
没有了。
不染吗？不让干了。
你好，有人吗？
I call one of the numbers on the shop fronts, and the man tells me he's moved his business to Inner Mongolia in China's far north.
when the center was closed, people would shift to a more remote area to continue their business. Because we still have so much plastic, we didn't solve the problem. It's just to shift the pollution from one like very concentrated center to a more like dispersed villages.
In Wenan, there are cameras everywhere. About half an hour after our arrival, local officials turn up. Whatever is going on here, they don't want us to see it.
So it didn't take too long for the cops to find us. So they're wanting us to come down and have a word with them before supposedly they'll show us one of these local factories here. We'll see.
After an hour at the station, the police take us to lunch, then send us on our way. They say plastic processing has all been shut down in Wenan and moved to other parts of China. Back in Beijing, there are some aspects to the rubbish system the government is keen to showcase.
City officials have organised a media tour to show us how they're dealing with Beijing's waste.
Beijing is one of 46 cities across the country trialling a new rubbish sorting system. But government efforts so far to convince city dwellers to sort their waste haven't gone well.
放在这个桶里，这不是塑料嘛哈，然后就把这个放这个里头。
我们可以随便去一个小区，或者是这个周围的这个垃圾回收桶，即使它有垃圾分类桶，但是垃圾分类桶每一个垃圾分类桶里头也都是混合垃圾，这是一个非常普遍的现象，也是中国垃圾回收工作现在面临的一个很大的问题。
是要那种动物的。
Eric Liu is the lead plastics campaigner for Greenpeace. He thinks the government needs to do more than educate people about rubbish sorting. It needs to make it compulsory.
要求每一户居民强制垃圾分类，这是一个我们需要去改变的一个现状。
Once collected, Beijing's rubbish is compacted, then trucked on to one of the world's largest incinerators. And that's the next stop on our tour. The Lujiashan incinerator, in the hills west of Beijing, burns about an eighth of the city's garbage, transforming the heat into energy. According to Zhang Yuesheng from the city government, each year this plant produces the same amount of electricity as 140,000 tons of coal.
那么这种处理方式呢，实际上是设计标准的时候，我们也是参比欧盟2000，甚至有些个别指标呢也要严于欧盟2000的这个标准。
China wants its big cities to burn more than half their household waste by the end of this decade. But if the rubbish isn't properly sorted, there are problems.
特别是塑料类的东西，所以这些混合垃圾在进入这个垃圾焚烧炉的时候，在焚烧的过程中，就有比较大的可能性产生类似于像二恶英这样的有毒有害物质。
总体污染物排放也是在控制范围之内所以说呢，它对环境的影响应该说是，在目前看，应该相比较这个其他的垃圾处理技术而言呢，应该是最低的，也是最可控的。
But from what we see here today, there's still a lot of plastics in the mix. It's clear China has a long way to go. For food courier Rao Jian, it's been another long day on the streets of Beijing. He's returning to the flat he shares with 11 other food couriers, all from other parts of China.
今天的话，今天这出了一点状况，然后这一段时间也不太顺啊。上次不是说脚扭伤了吗？
The central government is now considering restrictions on packaging, including takeaway food containers. Rao Jian hasn't heard about these plans, but he agrees there needs to be change.
你看一份餐里面最少有一份餐具，对吧？ 然后也像有些现在他那个平台上面也会提出那种就是无需餐具这一块，对吧？对环保这一块的支持，对吧？所以说我个人感觉的话，还是对这一块怎么说呢？就对那个环保这一块嘛，意识还要加强一点嘛。
I've come back to see the rubbish picker Wang Jindong and his nephew. 6 weeks earlier, he told us he was worried the local government would try to force him out of his home.
Well, this is a bit of a surprise. Since we were here last time, they've completely bricked up this lane where their house is. Just don't even know if they're home anymore.
哎，老王，你在不在？
我在呢。
在哪里啊？我见不到。哎，
我在这儿呢，老王你好。
哎，这个墙什么呀？
这墙我是人家路拆迁呢，我人家政府路砌呢。
还住在这里吗？
我们现在还在这儿住呢。
Wang Jindong doesn't know how much longer their house will remain standing, but he says whatever happens, they'll try to stay in Beijing.
这个墙我是下雨，人家撵了，不让我在北京，政府撵了我，不让我回老家。我现在回老家回不去。
With his rubbish cart bricked in, Wang is trying to support his family by picking up casual labour jobs. It's not the future he dreams of for his nephew.
希望他以后将来能上去考上学。
发出大梦想。
如果说考不上学的话，我就希望他学个手艺，得有他这一生的饭吃。哎，我的梦想是有他一生的饭吃，能成家立业，这就我的任务完成了。
China wants to make a cleaner future for 11-year-old Meng Nam. But if the rubbish pickers disappear, he could be growing up in a country that recycles less than it does now. As the big cities modernise, the lives of those who have done the most to keep them clean will be more precarious than ever.